I'm Ryan, and this is Marsh. I quit my job in the city to become a part-time hermit and full-time hunting and fishing guide. Living on 283 acres of wilderness surrounded by national forests in the Ouachita Mountains. The Ouachitas are a unique and ancient mountain range. They run east-west. That rare geography creates a diverse ecosystem, home to white-tailed deer, black bear, coyotes, turkeys, bobcats, and mountain lions. I started this journey in October of 2023 with a bare 20-foot shipping container. I moved in on day one with no grid and no backup plan. Over time, it slowly turned into a home, one small project at a time. It's nothing fancy, but it's mine, fully paid for, constantly improving as I find the time and money, and honestly, it's one of the things I'm most proud of. My goal is to manage this land for wildlife and build a small off-grid homestead where guests can come and experience real life hunting, fishing, and living wild in the Ouachitas.
Good morning. It's I guess it's like the 6th, Sunday the 6th. So it's been a crazy 4th of July weekend. I've been really busy. I haven't really done anything. I mean, I had one fishing trip yesterday, and I went on that, and we went fishing and did a little, we went and sat in a creek over to friends of mine's place yesterday evening. But it's just been a lot going on the last 4 days, and I'm kind of glad it's over. Getting back up to the cabin and got a lot of chores to do. Living around a lake, like Labor Day, Memorial Day, and 4th of July, it's just different. Like there's so many people that aren't normally on a lake that are on a lake, on those dates. So I guess it's not the people you would see on a Wednesday in March. So, but we got through the weekend. We caught some good fish, but I noticed that I had a lot of comments yesterday, and one of the comments was about the camouflage on my shipping container. So I just wanted to take a second and kind of talk about the camouflage on my shipping container. And he was specifically wanting to know how to camouflage it, how I did it. And I'm going to show that here in a second. But before I did that, I didn't want y'all to think I'm some sort of weirdo that's hiding from the federal government. I'm not trying to hide. I'm not trying to hide from people or from the government or from anything. Okay, so when I bought this shipping container, it was wintertime. And I put it up here on the side of this mountain. And it's a south-facing mountain. Most of the roads are, to the south of me from here. And I got on a hilltop, a ridge about 5 or 6 miles away, on a friend of mine's farm. And you could see my container sitting on the side of the mountain in the wintertime during leaf off, when all these trees don't have leaves on them. You could see my container. Now, I'm not trying to hide from him or anyone on that highway. I don't like for things to disrupt nature. And so when I saw that, I was like, I don't want someone to be driving across this highway, look over and see that dot on the side of that mountain and go, that was a really beautiful mountain until that hermit moved in over there and junked the place up. I'd rather they just don't ever see me, right? They don't know I'm here. And so even from 100 yards away, I would just prefer, from that distance, that's what it was. I didn't want people to be able to see me from the highway. Not hiding from anybody, I just don't want them to be able to see me, right? And then after I did it, I realized how beautiful it was. That this big container, you see people paint them red and blue and purple and green and gold, but I love that from 100 feet away, we're about 35 feet away, that thing just starts to disappear. And I feel like it doesn't disrupt nature. I feel like, and after I build a deck and a roof over that, and I plant a bunch of plants, and I get a nice garden going here, my hope is that I can paint it a normal color, but like, I just want it to kind of blend into nature for right now. I don't want to turn around and look up the hill and see something that looks like my solar panels. I would rather see nothing. And so this thing blends in better at certain times of the day. Right now you've got it this side sun, and the trees are really bright behind it. But as the sun comes up, that thing just disappears. And that's when it really popped over on the highway. That's when it was over there. Anyway, I'm going to try not to make a really long video. I just wanted to kind of put my theory out there. Like, I don't want my shipping container to be something that everyone in the county can see. I want it to kind of blend into nature and disappear, and unless you're within 100 feet of it, you don't even know it's there. And at least this one, if I build one for guests down in the bottoms, which I'm planning on doing, then that one's it's not on the side of a mountain. And this one it doesn't need to be. I'm not trying to be a spectacle. I just want it to disappear. I'm gonna put the camera down, and I'm gonna get all my paint and patterns out, and we're gonna go through just the quick and dirty of how I do this. I will say this pattern works. So for the last 35 years, I've lived in Central Arkansas, 25, 30 years. And in Central Arkansas, a duck hunting is like the outdoor thing. And I've spent the last 25 years of my life duck hunting outdoors in Stuttgart and the Cache River bottoms, on the Arkansas River and the White River bottoms. And each one of those, in Biomeda, each one of those has a different pattern. And the pattern's the same. Nature has a pattern. It's alternating of dark and light colors, but some colors work better. So like if I was in the Cache timber, the Cache River, and up in the timber, then it would look a lot like this. It'd be very dark. My boat would be dark that year. I've painted 6 or 7 duck boats, and my boat would be, I'd run dark. But if I was running the Arkansas River a lot, hunting cattails and blades and stuff in lighter colors, my boat would be a lot more beige and blonde, kind of like that dead cereal rye right there. But this pattern will work. Same pattern works for everything. And I always start off with like a beige base coat. I didn't have to paint this one because it already had beige. But that's a good starting point. And if you're hunting in like blades and winter grasses, you can literally add just a little bit of black paint, just like dust it. And you've got a pattern that from a duck can't see from the sky. So, I mean, it's an easy pattern to paint. I'm gonna get all the gear out and I'll show you how I do it. Alright, so my main pattern thing is this. And this is the grill out of my smoker on the grill side. Alright, so what I'm gonna do, show you this step first. This spider has got to go. So the first step is, because it's so bright, because we're going to be going so dark, I just start graying a little bit right up front. And this will save you a lot of paint. If you're painting in timber, if you just go ahead and take your beige and make it gray, this makes everything a lot easier. Till you get, just try to get it as kind of smooth as you can. So all I'm doing here is just backing off a little bit with the can. And you're just trying to create a uniform tone. Something that's not really, you don't really want any one part any darker than the other. You just want a uniform kind of shade. And now, try to get as far as I can while I'm on the ladder. I don't really have a lot of paint laying around. Kind of need to go to the hardware store and get probably a few extra cans. Finish this out. But with a little bit of paint, by graying that out with a black, that already got you a lot darker. So if you're looking down there and you're looking over here, you can already see where that kind of blends in already. This is not the green I was looking for. That was black. This is kind of an olive color. But now, since I've done that, you can take not even a black, but just and you can go back over it with black later, but you can take just an olive. And you just start patterning it up. I like this lighter green. I don't see any of that. So we're just trying to get just kind of start at the bottom and work your way up. It doesn't have to be perfect, and you can always go over it again later. So with the black and just this olive color, we've almost covered 4 square feet. And I like this size of grate because it fits in between my ladder. It's light. You're going to be holding this thing up for a long period of time, so you don't really want it any bigger than this. So yeah, that's just one coat. If I have this lighter green, I do it last. But now I've got a gray, I've got an olive, and just for timber, I use, you know, just another can of light green. I just don't have that color right now. I think I used it all on the bottom. Unless I see a can over here, it might be it. Now it's another can of black, which I didn't know I had. Brand new can. I might have enough black to do this. Let's see. Black. Sand. Black. And that's trash. Yeah, so I don't have the any more olive or colored, but you don't really have to have it. You know, like I can run back over all this with just a splash of black. But you don't have to. Really, it's probably dark enough without. Without the black. Really, you could do this. You could probably do this with just black. If you're just trying to darken it up and gray it up. I guess also something I'm not really talking about is most of my strokes are straight up and down, because really what I'm trying to do is blend into the trees, and the trees are vertical, so you have to use, I do use a lot of up and down strokes. I try not to use a horizontal stroke unless I absolutely have to. Like to hit that top bar, sometimes I will. But you can already tell where I hit that top bar, it just doesn't look nearly as good. But over and all, that's the basic pattern. And you should be able to pick up a couple square foot of this material at your local hardware store. I usually wear a rubber glove, hold it with this hand, spray with this hand, but it's just the grade out of my grill. And I've had several pieces of this over the years, and I've lost them and used them. But what I do is I'll take and camouflage something with this, and then, so you should be able to get this at your local hardware store. Probably a 24 by 24 would be some, really you don't want it that wide. Really, the longer it is, the better. If you could get one that was 8 inches wide and a little bit longer than this, you could do longer vertical hits, but that's about it. I mean, if I had the lighter green, it would look a lot better, but it already, we'll back up and look at it. It already looks so much better than it did. All right, so just that little bit, we'll back up and kind of look at it. I can't really see much because the sun's so bright. But even without the lighter green color, that's still already way darker. And once you get like off over here by the chicken coop, the solar panels, you can't even see that part of the container anymore. So that's how I do it. It's not anything super amazing. You could probably use anything for a pattern, but I just like the diamond shape. I think it makes a good bark pattern, tree pattern. Use vertical swipes and not horizontal. It looks really good. It's not it's not like the most beautiful thing in the world when you're right up next to it, but this is what I just painted. There it is with the lighter green, which I will get a can of and go into later, but it's just a very simple pattern. I'll probably shut the camera off, gray that window out, gray all the white out of it. The reflection off the window actually turns into camouflage. So, like on the front windows and side windows, notice that the reflection is kind of the whole thing you're going for, really. So it looks kind of ugly. You can tell I'm taking big vertical stripes. It looks like, the side of a rail car in a rail yard in any major city. Except just some of those are beautiful, actually. But it's not a pretty thing up close, but it's very cool to look back and not see your shipping container. The shipping containers aren't the most beautiful colors and specimen of architecture. It's already 90 degrees out here and I'm still drinking coffee. Yeah, that's going to be about it for now. I may post more this week. I don't have but one real fishing trip, and I don't think it's till maybe Thursday or Friday this week. So I've got a couple more projects I want to work on if it don't get too hot. If it does get too hot, we'll just go swim in the creek. But I do want to hopefully build some shelves in there this week and get a lot of my stuff that's laying underneath the solar panels and just things that are laying around. I would like for them to be stacked up in there pretty good. So I want to build probably 3 or 4 shelves in there that are just attached to the plywood. May do that this week, may do that in a couple days. I think I've probably got most of the materials I need to do that here. If I don't, I know where there's a construction site down at the bottom of the hill. yeah, that's it. It's been a slow week. It's been a beautiful week. I had a lot of fun. Probably will go for a little Polaris ride later, jump in the creek, just because I'm not feeling this heat. It's real easy to go in to that 69-degree container when it's 100 outside and take a little nappy nap. But not gonna do that today. I'm gonna finish this camouflage out and then I'll maybe go for a Polaris ride. Alright, so me and Marsh run out of patience and we run out of paint. So it's sunny, it's hot. I think I'm gonna go walk, go for my little exercise walk and show you what I got done. It wasn't a lot. Had 2 cans of black paint and one of them was half full and the other one was completely full, but the completely full, the little white tip that comes out of it's messed up. So I may take it back to Polaris and try to trade it in. And other than that, I think we're gonna just, I threw my tennis shoes on. I think I'm gonna drive the Polaris down to the bottom of the hill, bottom of the mountain, and down to the mailbox, and then we're gonna take off walking and just walk as far as we can. We might come back and get in the Polaris and run down to the creek and go for a swim. I don't know. We will see. Not a lot going on since I can't finish that. I've decided it was easier to just take a razor blade and clean that window than it would be to tape it up. I couldn't find any tape, and the tape I have is really old. It's set out in the sun too long, and so I don't want to even stick it on that window because you're going to have to clean the window anyway. So I just sprayed, got a little overspray on it, blacked it out. You can see it looks a lot better like that than it does with the white. Anyway, here we go. We're gonna try it. She's got a little limp, but she is pretty persistent that she wants to go for a walk. You wanna go for a walk? Looks like she's got little cuts in her feet, probably from that river. We went to Mazarn Creek yesterday, Mazarn, over in Bonnerdale, and she likes to find the big rocks in the river and dig them to the bank so she can see them. But I think maybe her dragging her feet across that river. It's a big party river, so there's like lots of people, ATVs and Jeeps and stuff. Everyone's drinking, and I'm sure there's glass in the bottom of the river. So I think she probably got some little abrasions in her feet. I looked at them, they don't look that bad, but there's like little bitty spots where there's a little bit of blood. I think we're gonna turn around and I'm gonna take her home where she can relax in the air conditioning for today. I'll go on a walk by, so we're off again. Marsh couldn't make it, so went back and got my other dog. Now we're gonna walk back in here a ways, get some exercise, some vitamin D.
Weights can lift you up. You can find a way to drop.
I don't know what it is about this hot weather that's making me feel like I need to be out. Exercising all of a sudden.
cross you with its rays. It's how we learn. It has to hurt, it has to hurt. Every single turn.
It's nice to get exercise. You just feel better. You know, like even if you can't see a difference in your body, you can feel better.
It has to hurt.
You don't realize how bad out of shape you are, or lethargic you are this time of year. You get used to that air conditioner. It's hard to get out of that rut. And it's so beautiful outside. There's no reason not to be out here. Alright, we're finishing up the 6 miles. Headed, about to walk up to the buggy. It's been rough. I feel very sloppy. I think 6 miles should be a long walk for me. And I probably won't do that again. I'll probably only do that once a week, like every Sunday or something. But I'm finishing up. I'm gonna run up to the cabin and take a shower, eat a sandwich, probably take a nap, post this video. Lots of subscribers this week. I appreciate that. Hopefully I can keep up some content coming in.
Don't beg your pardon. You're not someone